So time flops. Do you want to explain time flops for everybody?
Yeah, so in time games, which are usually the higher stakes games here at the Bicycle, are for no limit are 10, 20, no limit and above. So instead of a drop every hand, there's no drop during the hands, and then each player just pays a half-hour fee. So every half hour, every player pays $13. So instead of everybody paying their own $13, they'll just gamble for it. So they'll do whatever the flop is that hand that they say they're paying time on. The first card to the left, whatever number seat that is, that person pays for everybody.
Pays all of it, yeah.
And if it's not a number that someone's sitting in, or if it's not a number, they keep going to the next card until it's, so if it was queen, queen, queen flop, then you look at the turn. If the turn's a deuce, then the 2 seat pays.
I've seen it go 13 cards deep.
Wow.
Yeah, so they had to deal 13 cards off. I was like, what the hell?
Was it a shorthanded game?
It was a picture somebody sent me.
Shorthanded game?
Yeah, shorthanded, yeah. I was like, what the hell? It just kept coming 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, too. It was just like paint every hand, or every card. It was like every paint card in the deck almost, it felt like. They just keep dealing off the deck until they hit it.
Bart's going to open up with 6-5 clubs, and Lior's going to 3-bet the 10-8 of diamonds.
600.
Over to Andy.
Suited connectors.
Andy lets it go. See the way Andy folds, he like flashes those cards to the whole
Yeah, he does it quick, but yeah, it's possible.
I mean, I'm definitely paying attention to that if I'm playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if Bart peels here.
I think he should peel in position. They're deep
It's only,
enough.
yeah, it's only 600. You made 150. Raises 600.
In position with most of your suited hands, you should be peeling here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Offsuit hands, you're going to dump. You're going to dump quite a bit of offsuit hands. That's a lot of combinations already folding. 10-9 deuce, 2 spades.
Top pair for Lior.
I actually really like just checking this flop as Lior after 3-betting pre-flop. I really like that check. I think that's a good check. It's important to have some top pair weak kickers that you 3-bet pre-flop into your flop checking range, because you are not going to always bet this flop.
And look at this. Bart's going to bet. He's going to go for it.
So Bart has a backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. He has 2 backdoor straight draws and a backdoor flush draw.
75.
And over to Lior, obviously just going to check and call here. Playing 6,000 effective stack behind, 6.5. Here comes the call.
Did Bryce leave already? I didn't even notice.
I think he did.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize he left.
Heads up to
How
the
long
turn.
did he leave?
Maybe like
20 minutes ago?
2 orbits. Wow, that turn card's savage. Lior picks up top and middle pair, and Bart picks up a combo draw. Bart's probably going to triple barrel a non-zero percentage of the time here.
I wonder if Bart just takes his equity or if he triple barrels. What do you
I
think?
mean, the opponent has 3-bet pre-flop and checked the flop.
This
Like,
is
there's
a
a
good
lot of
board.
ace high and stuff. This is a great board for him to triple barrel
This is a
on.
good board for Bart's range.
And the other thing is you don't block your opponent from having like a queen X or a jack X type hand that would have to like have a lot of equity in this spot. So there's a lot of hands that like it makes sense to use like a 6 high hand as your triple barrel bluff. Yeah,
because he might call turn and then fold over.
Yeah, exactly. So like I think this is a really good spot to triple.
So Lior can have spades.
Yeah.
He could have some one pair hands.
Right.
He could have some gutters now, like ace queen.
Yeah. Lior obviously going to be checking and calling here. He's just balancing his frequency. Doesn't really want to raise, I would assume, most of the time due to the fact that your opponent can have hands like queen jack and the jack 7 every once in a while, or the 6-7, which Bart has a 6-5, 9-10, or pocket 9s, pocket 2s.
Teuces? A lot of hands that Bart could have here. He's pretty uncapped, I think, in this spot.
Yeah, for sure. That's why like, when your range is uncapped, it's like your ability to fire the triple barrel bluff becomes big. And in this spot, this is what we were talking about earlier. Like the sizing options on the river is the in-position player could split between like a 2/3 and an overbet size on the river. And in this spot, the pot's going to be big enough to where overbet's not an option.
Now he's only going to have 4K back after he calls
But if
this.
they were deeper.
Yeah.
Ripping it in is definitely an option.
He's going to have 2/3 pot left in the river.
Yep.
Oh, he goes all in.
Wow, so he does raise all in here on the turn from the 10-8 here. That's a really nasty spot for
I mean,
Bart.
it's nasty based on the specific hand that Bart has.
It's pretty gross.
Equity-wise, he actually should fold here.
Yeah.
But it just sucks because he picked up so much equity. But the problem is, what if Lior has queen jack here? Then you're just drawing.
Then your
clubs.
7's no good and you're only on clubs. Yeah, it's pretty gross. So if you're in Bart's position, you're thinking you have 9 outs roughly. So you're like, I need a club and a club only. 7. You maybe count one of the 7s in the deck, not all 4. So maybe you have like 10 outs total. But your opponent should have queen jack here like a ton. The other thing is like when somebody 3-bets pre-flop, let's say he does have queen jack and he 3-bets pre-flop, he's probably not going to check this flop often enough with a hand like queen jack, which you should. You should have queen jack in your betting and your checking range. This is exactly what we're talking about from earlier. So that when you get into a spot like this, you can have it. Like that's very important for board coverage to be able to take mixed strategies with things like that, especially when out of position on the flop and no limit hold'em against a good player. So Bart has like 9 outs to the flush and 1 out to the straight. That's actually good. We're discounting the straight outs here. It's around 20% equity. Must be putting in less than a fifth of the money to break even.
There's a line, you know?
Like, so right now, Bart isn't thinking, what does he have? Bart's thinking of his equity against his range.
And the price is getting laid.
He's thinking about Lior's range, and he's thinking about his equity. And he's thinking about the price, and, like, I think the math isn't there. He's calling 4K to win 14K. And, yeah. He does fold. Like, he would need almost 30% equity to break even, right? And I don't think he's ever getting 30%. Like, even if all of his outs are live, it's 9, like, and there's no blockers or anything, it's 12 outs. It's not 30%.
Right.
It's only 12 out of 44 cards, which is almost 30%.
Yeah,
so it would actually be pretty close.
It's close.
It would be pretty close if he knew for sure that all of his outs are live and that Lior's are blocking him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know that, and so that's the best case scenario. So if your best case scenario is almost good enough, then you just fold.
So if you think about Lior's position here, when he donk check calls that flop, and then he check raises that turn all in. Here's an interesting theory question for you. Someone like Bart is definitely capable of triple barrel bluffing and triple barreling in general. So the out of position player there with 10-8, what hand does he check call the river all in with?
Who?
Like he checked the flop and then called, and then he checked the turn. And if he just calls the turn instead of raising,
if the river's a brick, you're saying?
Yeah. So like since he's check raising 10-8 there, like what hands does he actually check call the river with?
I mean, if he played 10-8 like that, it would be 10-8.
Well, I mean he's check raising 10-8, right? So.
If he's doing it always.
Since we know he's check raising 10-8, well let's assume he's doing it always, just for theory discussion. So what kind of hands could he actually possibly check call the river with?
He just decided that he was check shoving or folding the turn.
So that
I mean, he just decided. I think it was based on his stack, though.
I agree.
He just decided based on his stack. So if he was deeper, then he would probably just check call 10-8. Obviously, he wouldn't check.
Of course.
He's not going to check raise to an amount that's not all in.
Absolutely. Of course, I definitely agree with that.
So I think nothing.
But the part of the game tree that's not being accounted for here is his river check.
Yeah.
So if he does call the turn, now he's like basically never calling the river.
But basically, what he's saying there is he doesn't have. He's not. There's no hand that he's calling with the turn. He's just shoving it. Like maybe his draws, right? So there's nothing that he's calling with the turn and calling the river with. He's just like is shoving all of his value hands on the turn that are good enough. Maybe jacks.
Right. But so does he call anything? Does he check call the turn with anything? Because
maybe jacks.
Yeah. So like
jacks might be
pocket jacks might hero call the river, right? Okay.
Like jacks or queens.
So that means his fold frequency on the river is probably too high.
But I think that jacks and queens he's going to bet flop with, so I don't think he gets there.
Exactly, right? So basically what we're saying, and that's kind of what I was getting at, was that he's probably never check calling the river in a spot like that.
Yeah.
And so because of that, like that's actually a fundamental mistake against somebody who actually bluffs the river correctly. Just with the way the ranges are constructed. Game theory. That's just game theory.
Yeah, I think he just only had 4K back, so he just said, okay, should I shove here?